Hello, welcome to Movers and Shakers. I'm Public Information Officer Diana Dodd for the City of Lansing, Kansas. And with me today, I have Leavenworth County Attorney Todd Thompson.
Hi.
Nice
Thanks.
to meet you.
Yeah.
It's nice to meet you. Nice to see you.
Yes, that's fine. I'm very excited to be here. I've seen the podcast, and so I was impressed, even though I don't know that I'm a mover or a shaker. But maybe now that I'm getting older, I shake a little more. But no, I'm excited to be here.
Well, we're really glad to have you.
Yeah.
You are very visible in the community. You seem to be out supporting a lot of organizations. You marched in the county fair parade. So I feel like, and you have your column.
Thank you.
So I feel like people already kind of know you.
Yeah.
So maybe tell us something about Todd that we don't know.
Well, we were talking about shoes, and I actually have a very extensive sock collection.
Okay.
Inadvertently, when I did debate back in high school, I had to dress in a suit, and my mom got me some socks, and then they were really colorful, and then other people noticed. And I think as you get older, people wonder what to get you, and they just get me socks. So, I mean, I know the old adage of like, don't have the stocking, your stocking with underwear and socks, but mine, every year. And also when I travel, like my little tchotchke, you would say I would pick up is socks.
Okay.
So I have more socks than anyone would ever want or need.
I like it.
Yeah.
So are you a matching pair person, or do you like to mix and match?
Well, it depends how generally they match. If there's, sometimes you buy them, then they don't match. But, and I like to have the socks at least to match the tie.
Right. Okay.
Okay. And so that's kind of, I don't need it to match, or they match the shirt, depending how that works.
Okay.
So,
That's fun.
So yes, my drawer is color coded with the type of socks. And I've talked to people like, that's too much thought. And I say, I get it, but that's what
Everybody's got their thing, right?
Well, I have to wear kind of the same thing all the time,
Right.
and being professional as it is. So this is the way to just stand out just a little bit.
Right.
A little personality.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Well, that was a great fun fact. So, as county attorney, your office handles felonies, domestic violence, criminal cases involving juveniles, and cases involving children in need of care. And you have 9 attorneys, that including yourself. So, how do you decide who handles what?
Well, that's a good question. So we're considered a mid-sized office.
Okay.
Obviously, we're the 6th largest county in the state.
Right.
But even in size-wise, compared to like Johnson and Sedgwick, where they have just departments, we have a little bit of a hodgepodge that we can't exactly have people with specialties, yet I do. I have attorneys that specifically handle traffic. Okay. I have an attorney that specifically handles just domestic violence cases. And then I have attorneys that handle just our child in need care cases. And usually they have a big passion for that. So it's, it's kind of nice when they have not only a passion, but they also do that. Because we're mid-sized office, unlike other offices where they can just say, okay, I'm just going to have you do this one specific role. You are going to be our traffic person. They sometimes have other dockets or other types of cases that they handle. I have several attorneys that handle or have handled very serious cases. Okay. And so they're the ones that look at that. And then I supervise over that. Occasionally I'll take a case or two, but because of the managing role that I have to play on top of being a prosecutor and the amount of times often that these very serious cases, I play a role in knowing what's going on, being part of the meetings, and maybe assisting in the cases, but I don't always just am what they call first chairing those cases.
Okay.
So
you're more of just the supervisor in the office.
Right. I mean, I still handle cases, but also, and it sounds, in the prosecutorial world, everybody kind of wants to be able to have their cases. And so if I just took all the big cases, I wouldn't be able to keep the attorneys I have.
Right.
So I want to make sure they have opportunities to have the cases they want, because in a mid-sized office, there's always going to be cases. Not saying they don't want them. I don't want to say that, because they do want the cases, but sometimes they're not as gritty or they're more routine than like some other cases that they see.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So is there ever a time when you're like, no, I'm taking that one?
I feel it's selfish. I liked, if I can have more than one attorney on different types of cases, I'll do that. But I don't want to ever do something where someone really wants a case and I overdo that. I try to be as fair as possible.
Okay.
I try to give my attorneys as much autonomy and know what's going on with the cases. And, obviously I make the final decision on what some of the things, but really ever since I was elected, I've had the idea that what's most important about any one of our cases is what our victims want, or the families of the victims, depending what the case is, and what is best for the community. Those two things are paramount in my decisions of how to resolve any type of case, because it's like I always tell people, I tell the victims, it's really easy for us to go to trial. I mean, we just put the facts out there and whatever happens, happens.
Right.
Whether it's a guilty or not guilty. It's trying to decide what is in the best interest of everybody is the real key. Because a lot of times people don't take into consideration or don't know, like in our child sex cases, the victim has to testify. And so that means we have had 4 or 5-year-old children on the stand testifying to what they have done.
Right.
And so oftentimes we talk to the family and see how the child's doing. We talk to the family, to the child's therapist if they have one, and generally they do, to see how the child is doing and how that process is going to be. Sometimes it's very rewarding for the child, but generally it's not, because generally in those cases, I hate saying it, most child sex cases are someone that they're familiar with, and it makes it very difficult for them to have to go through that process. So we kind of see what is in their best interest, because, we have often put children on the stand. It's just, we try to do what everybody in the family wants.
So would you say that that's the hardest part of your job, like those types of cases?
Yeah. Hardest part, I already know that we never make everybody happy. And so my core belief is try to make the victim or the victim's family as happy as possible. We get a lot of cases, and domestic violence cases are the ones that are particularly that, because our office, there's an adage that says, I press charges, and they don't really press charges. We're the ones to make the decision of whether charges get pressed or not. So sometimes we see in domestic violence cases, and they have a thing called a cycle of violence. And so when the violence actually occurred, when they call, that's when everything is as bad as possible. And generally, the aggressor at some point suddenly starts to try to make amends for what they have done. Flowers, gifts, everything's going to be okay. And during that period is about the time our case is going. And so oftentimes we find that our victim might not want to pursue the case. And that's when we take into consideration their feelings. But sometimes even if they don't, this might be the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th time we've seen them call the police and then say, okay, I don't really want to do it. And where we have to kind of say, I'm sorry, I know this is what you want to do, but this is what we're going to have to do.
Right.
So.
Yeah, that would be difficult. Speaking of difficult cases, the city of Lansing recently donated $12,000.
Yes, thank you very much to them. We appreciate it very much.
Yes, to Veterans Treatment Court, which is a program that you worked really hard to get established here.
Yes, I had been approached about 10 years prior to us getting it started to see if we would even do it. And we didn't have full cooperation at the time. And fortunately, former Chief Justice Lawton Nuss reached out to one of my judges and asked, wouldn't we want to do it? And he really helped re-engage our judges to get involved, because we have to have parties on every field to be wanting to cooperate. Not only do we need to have our county willing to cooperate, but we also need to have a judge to do it, prosecutors to do it. We need to find defense attorneys, and we need to have court services officers. And everybody has to be on the same page, in the same vein of like what to do. And so, because this is called a specialty court, it's a veterans treatment court, and it's for anyone who's ever served any amount of time in military service. And it was really exciting because Leavenworth has a plethora of people who have served in the military or, veterans.
Right.
And I think that's why they came to us 10 years, and it couldn't have made more sense for our community to be able to have something. And the way this works versus a normal case would work, it is more of a carrot than a stick for those that get in trouble. And again, it's not like the most serious cases. It's not like, generally it's not very serious person felonies, no one in a murder, no child sex or rape cases or anything like that. It's people who have some type of incident that's fallen down that hopefully we can be able to help out. And it is like Johnson County's had it for 10 years. They've had a 90% success rate, but it costs money.
Right.
And because, the judges can get their funding through the state. It takes time out of the attorneys in my office to do, so it takes away. So, that costs our office. And so far we've been able to manage, be able to do that. But it also, we have to have a defense attorney or multiple defense attorneys, and we have to be able to use the court services. So, and then part of the program also has what's called a mentor coordinator. And so for every veteran who's going through Veterans Treatment Court, not only do they have court services, they have their own attorney, but they also get a mentor, which is someone who has served, that they can kind of lean on, call whenever they need to, and whenever they're having trouble. When I say it's a carrot process, it's a lot more intensive than just probation that people have go through if they're not going through a specialty court. And so the veterans have to almost report every day until they're more and more successful. They have a lot more hurdles to climb to be able to be successful. It's a lot longer process than probation. They still could go to do some jail time. It still could end up failing, and they still could end up going to prison or regular probation if they're not successful on their program. But in this process, the judge tries to give incentives. And so initially, the funds that we requested, and I neglected to mention this, one of the reasons that we were able to even have the court was because Senator Jerry Moran gave us a grant. And the grant is for a set amount of years. And we were about to lapse out of time to be able to fund it. Would have to ask the county to take that funds. And of course, the county is always looking for ways to cut instead of spend. And even though this in the long run, it actually is would be more beneficial and cheaper to have people back out and working, it is always a struggle to find funding. And the grant was going to be able to help fund for defense attorneys, help fund that mentor position, because someone has to coordinate all the mentors. Right. And also look for incentives, because one of the things is if the veteran is doing well, sometimes it's a gas card. Sometimes it helps find rent or help find a job and give them incentives to be able to move forward.
Gotcha.
And normal probation is find a job, stay clean.
It's kind of on them.
Yeah.
Right.
And so this is much more of a helping hand. I would like to see it blossom into more, but it costs a lot more money because it's a lot more intensive and it's a lot more supervision than, is available.
Right. And you've had it going now for what, 2 years?
About 2 years, yeah.
Okay. And so how many veterans have gone through the program?
I know we're getting close to about 20, and we've had about 5 or so graduate because it's an 18-month, and of course that 18 months can be extended. So but we're seeing a lot of success, and we're really excited about what we're doing. So
great.
So we're very grateful to Lansing.
Well, I know the council was very happy to help. It was something that they felt strongly about. So as we wrap this up, what do you see in your future? Like, what is your ultimate goal in your legal career?
In my legal career, I'm very happy doing what I'm doing, and that's not just fodder. I'm born and raised Leavenworth. My family's been here for 160 years.
Wow.
I had a very distinguished, prominent family, and I guess as a young child, it felt like I had a lot to make sure to live up to.
Right.
And when I decided to run for the first time, I viewed that things could be better and try to make things safer. And that has been my goal since. And, I've had opportunities if I wanted to apply for judge, and I passed those because I really enjoy what I'm doing. I feel like I can make a greater difference for the community as a prosecutor overviewing, and I've always really loved prosecution.
Okay.
If there's some other higher calling that comes at some point, it's not I won't listen, but it works, and it works for my family, which is my number one. And that's my, I think for everybody, and this is the same theme I think I try to go for my office is, family is first.
Right.
And it's been really nice, and the people I work with are amazing, and I'm very blessed to be able to have them, because we would not be successful without what they do. So.
Right. Well, Todd, thank you so much for coming today. I know that you are a very busy man, so I will not keep you. But thanks again for coming.
Yes, thank you.
And I look forward to having you again sometime.
No, I would love it. I love it. Thank you, guys. Thanks for watching.
You have been watching Movers and Shakers. I'm Public Information Officer Diana Dodd for the City of Lansing, Kansas.